Alright, so how's it going, guys? So, yeah. So the point of today's video, I guess, is I just kind of wanted to talk about something that I find kind of disappointing and, well, it's probably going to hurt business, that's for sure. I'm sure a lot of you guys are keeping up to date with it, especially if you're in the farming, in the tractors and whatever else, but, let's just say good old John Deere has gone down the toilet. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about already if you guys have been keeping up with the news with that. Trying to do the best that I can, but it's getting to be kind of disappointing. So, well, the one thing is, this is what I want to talk about the most, is that, you know, John Deere was sued, and they were sued by multiple farmers and whatever else, but, you know, they had to go to court over it. People were suing John Deere because, you know, John Deere isn't allowing you to fix your own equipment anymore, because all this newer stuff has computers and sensors and crap in it. It really doesn't need it, but it's there, so. But I think John Deere tried to fight it. I think even before that, too, they tried to appeal it, I think it is. Something like that, I think, where they wanted the judge to kind of just let it go. Kind of like. But the judge said no, because there was definitely something wrong there. So they went to court. John Deere lost. They're supposed to allow farmers to fix their equipment. It's the right to repair bill. That, I believe, did pass. And I don't know if it passed in, well, I don't know, maybe all the states, but I know Minnesota was on that list. And a few other states too. I don't know, like, if it was the whole US or what. I don't know. I don't have all that details, but so John Deere is supposed to be allowing access to that now. You are supposed to be given the software that you can either download on your computer, and I guess I don't know if you have to buy it from John Deere, or if it just comes with the tractor now or whatever. I don't know. I imagine John Deere's gonna want money for it, so I'm sure you got to pay something for it, and it's probably just to fucking borrow it, not to actually own it. So, but that was passed. That John Deere was supposed to allow access to that, so farmers could repair their own equipment without calling a John Deere dealer. And apparently John Deere's been they've been kind of taking a sweet time about it, because they're supposed to be releasing that software and other stuff. And it sounds like they haven't done it yet. They're doing something there where it's like they're trying to egg it on for as long as they can, trying to, you know, delay it. I got a feeling they're going to end up going to court over that eventually too.
Coming back to the pit yet?
Shut up. So, but I don't know. So, just gonna have to. I'll have to wait and see what they do. But I think it's kind of ridiculous that John Deere's putting up such a big freaking stink about it. It's like, well, then how about build tractors without the damn computers? You know? And then what's so sad, too, is that John Deere wants to move to Mexico. Well, apparently if Trump, you know, Donald Trump becomes president again, and John Deere goes through with their plans to move to Mexico, Donald Trump said he was going to put a $200% increase on, I guess I don't know what they call it, but it's like a fee that you get charged something for shipping into the U.S. There's a special word for it, but I don't know it. So basically it's like a fee, you know. So basically, I think the way it is, if John Deere tries to sell a tractor here in the U.S., and they're a Mexican-based company now, And let's say a tractor's worth $100,000. Well, apparently if there's a 200% increase, that would make the tractor $200,000. Apparently, if that's correct, how that's working out. So, but I don't think you can't buy any type of a tractor from John Deere for under $100,000. You know, not in a farm tractor anyway. Maybe in a lawnmower you could, but not in a farm tractor. So, but it's just, it's ridiculous. And then they're laying off people left and right. I think they just got done releasing another, or letting go another 600 plus freaking people. And John Deere blames it on, for one, they blame it on the market here in the U.S. Like steel and everything has gone up super high. And then I think there's something else too. But a lot of people were saying that that's bullshit. The only reason why John Deere wants to move to Mexico is because Mexico has a lower payment rate, you know, for people that work hourly. So, like here in the U.S., you would want $20 to $25 an hour, you know, if you're working out a good job. Whereas in like Mexico, you could probably do it. People could work for like $15 an hour, maybe $10 an hour. Like it's really cheap over in Mexico. So apparently John Deere would save tons of money that way because they're hiring Mexicans. But I don't know. It's just, it's not good for what, you know. It ain't good. I don't know what else to tell you. And then somebody I guess found that, I don't know, maybe it's a public record thing too, but while John Deere claimed that they're losing money, their, what the hell is it, their product demand or whatever, went down like 12%. 12% is not a lot, to be honest with you, when you have billions of people that want to run John Deere equipment. So, but you got to kind of look at it this way too, John Deere. You know, did you ever think to maybe the reasons to why you're losing the customers is because of one, you're overcharging on tractors, you're overpricing them, and you're not allowing us to work on them ourselves. You know, I'm sorry, but it's bad enough that we have to call a John Deere dealer to order the parts, you know, and to get, you know, just to order the parts. Most farmers want to try to do the repairs themselves because it saves them a lot of money. And that's what John Deere doesn't understand too, is that if you have to ship, you know, or haul your tractor to a John Deere dealer, you know, for some reason you can't drive it, or, you know, you don't have your own semi or whatever, then you have to pay somebody to do it. Okay, well that could be $1,000, you know, right there. And then you have to times 2 that. So there goes possibly $2,000. It could be more depending on how far away you got to go, right? So I just don't think John Deere really realizes that stuff. You know, and another thing that's kind of sad is that the CEO of John Deere, which I guess his first name is John, by the way, as well. Kind of funny. Well, yeah, well, he's the one that was kind of bitching, groping, and complaining. But if you look on that salary thing, you know, like how much money they make every year, 2023, they made like billions of dollars. Like it was way up there compared to everybody else. Like they were top bitch when it comes to that. So, but you're sitting there and saying that you're losing money because of the price of steel, and people want too much for an hourly rate, you know. Like you got plenty of money, bud, you know, you do. That's what's so sad, is because, you know, John Deere was supposed to be like top dog, the best company in the world. They've been out for like 200 years, you know, and you were supposed to be made in America. I think John Deere holds the record for a company to remain in business for 200 years and produce equipment in America. You know, like it's actually truly built in America. Well, now if you're going to go to Mexico, well, now you got Mexican-made stuff, and nobody's going to want that because they want American-made stuff. You know, it's like, it's just dumb. The way John Deere thinks is not right. So, well, it's mostly it's mostly John, the CEO. He's the fucking idiot. You know, I think, you know, if I was the owner of John Deere, let's just say I was, but I'm not, but if I was, you would think top priority would be your customers. Well, they would be in my mind, but in John's mind, it's money. He's getting to be a greedy cocksucker. You know, and I think that's kind of, you know, money is what does it. I think he's making too much money, and he's getting he feels like he's untouchable and he can do this and do that. And I don't think he really cares about his customers anymore. You know, the people that are proud to own a John Deere tractor or a combine or whatever. Hell, even a fucking lawnmower at this point. You know, it's like, if you own a John Deere, you're obviously, you know, proud to own it. And John Deere's been known to be like the most reliable company in the world. Like, they usually have built like top-notch stuff. Like you know, it would last for years. Like, it was built to last. Stuff today obviously doesn't do that. I mean, even the John Deere tractors up today, they don't last. You know, you look at the John Deere, the John Deere A's, like all the way older equipment, they're all still out. Like, some of them are still out working to this day. A lot of them have been retired. A lot of them have been parted out. A lot of them are just for looks. But there are still quite a few people in this world that still choose to run that stuff. Because it's easy to fix. You know, it gets the job done. And you don't have to plug a computer into it when it breaks down. You know. So that's kind of where it gets kind of disappointing, because John Deere is not really becoming like, they don't care about America anymore. It's all about the fucking money. And to let people go, you know, well, first of all, those people kind of needed that job. You know, they got bills to pay for. They probably have families to pay for, you know. Like, you're taking a job away, you're taking jobs away from Americans that maybe they're also proud people, you know, like they're proud to build something that's proudly made in America, and they know that somebody's going to run this tractor or this combine for thousands and thousands of hours and be very happy with it. It's something that's very reliable, parts are easy to find, and yada yada yada. You know. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people too that are, you know, that said that they're not going back to John Deere because of what John is doing. You know, and it's sad to, you know, I mean, I guess it happens. I don't know. It probably doesn't happen all the time, but I think it happens quite a bit too. That, you know, you just have companies that, you know, they're good for 200 years, you know, and then they right down the toilet. You know, they got to ruin it. Well, one is probably greed. You know, because all that guy thinks about now is money. You know, what's so stupid too is that he's taking his company. Okay, this is his company. He's got this company in his hands, right? He's a proud American. His company is proudly built in America, and it builds products. He's going to take all that over to Mexico, and the Mexicans are going to get their hands all over it. And he's still going to continue to live here in America and having that cocky attitude. Listen, if you move John Deere to Mexico, then you need to go with your company then, because I can tell you now, there's probably a pretty good chance that nobody's going to accept you here. Nobody's going to want you here. Nobody's going to buy your products anymore because you got the sleazy fucking Mexicans making it now. And who knows how good they're actually going to build a product. Things are going to be built shitty. And I mean, they're kind of shitty now, but it's mostly just because it's got too many computers in it, too much technology, and honestly, we don't need it. Some farmers don't want it, some can't afford it, and most just don't want it. If we don't need it, we don't need it. So that's where John Deere spends a lot of money too, is that they're always trying to upgrade their technology and try to, shove it into everything and then ship it off. Well, some farmers probably want it, they want the technology, but then there's also some too that just don't have a use for it. Obviously for us, we don't need a tractor with, parking sensors. We don't need it with fucking, we just don't need those sensors, Of course, now we're in the cattle business, so it's a little bit different, but we just don't need it, It's unnecessary equipment, and it's going to break, and then how are we going to fix it? Because we got to call our local John Deere dealer, and they got to send somebody down, which they're not going to send somebody right away because they could be out on another job. So it doesn't work like that. You're better off just letting us do the work. If we call you for parts, have the parts in stock or get them in stock, order them, and let us fix them. Get the damn sensors and the computers out of these tractors. We don't need them. And especially if you're not going to allow us to fix it. And John Deere says that they own the rights to it and yada yada yada. Well, technically you don't, because if we buy your tractor, it's now our tractor. It's ours, and we have the right to do whatever the hell we want to it. If I want to buy a brand new 2025 John Deere tractor, and I wanted to blow it up, I want to put 100 pounds of TNT underneath of it. Okay, well, I can do that. I can blow it up, and that's not your, you can't do nothing about it. If I wanted to go ram it into a fucking tree, put it at top speed and ram it into a tree, I could do that too. It's my tractor. So, it's not your tractor. It's your tractor when you're building it and it's sitting on your lot, but once it leaves your lots and comes on the private property, well, then it's ours. So, I don't know. I have a John Deere. I have a John Deere lawnmower, and I bought that thing in 2009, the fall of 2009, and I still have it to this day. And it's actually run pretty freaking good. Well, one, there's very little computers in it, so it's just basically an engine, but, everything was built well on it. The mower deck held up pretty good, the paint's, you can't expect things to look nice forever, especially if you're using it. So, but I've had to replace some parts here and there, but it's very rare that I actually have to do that. It was earlier this fall, or no, this spring, I put a new drive spindle in the mower deck. But you have to remember now, the old one got damaged because I hit a fence post with it. But you know what? That thing held on for quite a few more years after that fact, because that happened quite a few years ago. And it's just, I think it broke a little chunk out. Okay, well, the guts weren't showing. And I just thought, it's just a little piece. It ain't going to hurt nothing. I'll limp it and see what happens. I got all these years out of it. I had to finally replace it earlier this spring because when I looked at it, you know, obviously in the fall time, I noticed that there was more chunks missing from it. So it was slowly falling apart. But you got to understand is that it took years to do that. That's a true part, you know, like that was made by John Deere. So that's a good quality part, and you don't really find that too much anymore. You know, everybody wants to make this cheap shit over in fucking China, and then you get maybe one season out of it, and then it falls apart. So that's why John Deere is so well liked, because they build everything extremely well, and parts just hold up. You can fucking abuse the thing, and it'll take it. You know, I mean, even the older tractors, you can abuse them even harder, and they take it. They take it better than the newer stuff. So, but I don't know. It's just kind of an unfortunate thing, you know, because I mean, I like my John Deere mower. You know, like it cuts good, it's reliable. I've only had to, well, let's see. I replaced the drive spindle. I replaced the battery, the original 12-volt battery. I replaced it with another John Deere battery, and then I replaced the positive and negative cables. And probably didn't really have to do that. I could have just cleaned them up and it would have been perfectly fine. But you know, I just figured, just update it all, get new stuff, and don't have to worry about it for a while. So that's just what I did. It was just easier to do it that way. So. But, you know, and I've done all the regular maintenance, you know, change the oils once a year, grease it, check tire pressures. I've had very little problems with it. So it's been a great mower. So you can see how my mower is, and you look at a tractor, you know, a farm tractor. It's basically the same thing. They're built to last. You know, so, but I don't know. It's just, at the end of the day, I think John Deere's going to make a big mistake. You know, if John Deere moves, it'll be the end of them. And I would hate to see that happen because, you know, they've been around for 200 years. How can you not be proud of that? You know, like, you look at look at International Harvester. They were out for quite a few years, and they're gone now. You know, like because I think they became part of Case IH, but they're not their own company anymore. They used to be their own company, International Harvester. That used to be their own thing, but now they're not there anymore. So, but you know, John Deere has never been touched. You know, John Deere has always been John Deere. They've never changed. So, but, you know, and they've always been built here in America. So why do you think going over to Mexico, building, well, I mean, I guess I know. They want to build it over there because it's cheaper. And everybody wants to move to fucking Mexico. I don't know what the fuck it is with Mexico. Somebody needs to blow up Mexico. Just saying. You know, it's ridiculous. Everybody wants to move there. And then yet, you want to move to Mexico, but you know that Mexico is basically a fucking war zone. Everybody's killing each other because you got the cartel over there and you got other fucking, you know, gangs and stuff like that. And they're killing everybody left and fucking right. But no, let's just send a multi-million-dollar business over there and... nothing will happen. We won't get robbed. We won't get blown up. We won't get shot at, you know. It's freaking mind-blowing. So, and then John Deere got chewed out just a few months ago because John Deere was showing support towards the gay community, you know. Like, I don't know, they were something that they wanted to do to help the gay community. And Tractor Supply was going to do the same thing too, but Tractor Supply, again, they got their ass fucking chewed out, and they pulled the plug on it. They don't want nothing to do with it now. And John Deere was getting the same treatment. John Deere was getting chewed out, and they said, why the fuck are you doing this when you're a company? You're supposed to be building tractors. You're supposed to be building combines. You're supposed to be building lawnmowers. You're supposed to be building this and building that. And this is what your company's about. Your company's not about fucking sticking up for the gays and supporting them and this and that. Like, that's not your job. You know, I'm sorry. It's not. Your job is to build equipment, get it done. Build it with fucking pride. Build it here in America. You know. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where John Deere gets their steel from, but I imagine their steel's not made here in America either. I imagine that's made over in China. So basically, it's basically we're buying a Chinese junk tractor anyway. It's not like the good old days when everything was truly built here in America. Even the steel, you pulled all the shit out of the ground right here in the U.S. You turned it into steel, and then that steel was then turned into something else. A tractor, a car, a building, you know. Everything was built here in America, and that's why this country's gone to shit, because we have to get everything from fucking China. And I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. But America doesn't want to. They just want to keep outsourcing from China because it's cheaper and whatever else. So I don't know why John Deere just doesn't move to China. But then I don't know, maybe China, they're gonna want a lot of money too an hour, you know. Whereas Mexico, they take anything because they're so desperate for money. So I don't know, but I mean, it sucks to see that, you know, because I'm a John Deere lover. I love John Deere, but I also like Case IH and I like International Harvester. I think they're all good companies. I think they all make, I mean, International's not around anymore, but their tractors are still out, you know, in the fields doing stuff. But they're reliable, you know, and they are equipment that I'm proud to, you know, to own. You know, I don't really know much about like Massey Ferguson or whatever the hell it is. I think they're still out there building tractors and stuff. Yeah, I think they are. I think Farming 4G has a Massey Ferguson. It's much bigger than, I think it's probably about the same as my 1586, if not a little bigger. But it's four-wheel drive and everything, right? So it's got a loader and whatever, but I don't know much about those tractors. I don't know where they're built. I know there are some tractors here in America that are not built here. They're built in another country, but you know, I would rather stick with American-built stuff. You know, and it's so sad that you see people that they're hardcore John Deere lovers. Like, that's all they run on their farm is nothing but John Deere. And then you got John Deere pulling this fucking stunt. And then you got those people now, they're like, oh, well, we're done with John Deere. We'll just sell all our equipment and we'll switch over to a different brand. You know. I mean, I don't even hear anything like Case IH. Okay, so we're another company that builds fantastic equipment. And Case IH has not even once said anything about joining the gay community, you know, to support them. Not that I'm aware of. And they don't have any plans of moving to Mexico anytime soon. So I would actually it'd be fucking hilarious if everybody just switched over to red, you know, and started running Case IH or Massey Ferguson or whatever, you know. It's like I don't think Johnny, or his real name's John, but let's just call him Johnny because he's a prick. I don't think he's realizing the true fuck up that's about to happen if he decides to move to Mexico. If you move to Mexico, you are going to lose a lot of customers, and I don't think anybody in Mexico is going to be able to afford a John Deere tractor when you want $5 billion gazillion dollars for a simple tractor that doesn't even hardly have anything. It doesn't have all the fancy computers in it. Like, it's a low budget tractor, because there are standard tractors that have very little stuff in them for those that don't need, a tractor that's fully loaded with stuff. So, but John Deere always wants so much for them. That's why I can't go out and buy a John Deere, like even a John Deere 4240, and those are older tractors, by the way. They're built in the 70s. I can't go and buy one of those. I can't buy a John Deere 4240 all the way up to a 4440 or anything, because those tractors still go for fucking $20,000 to $50,000 depending on their condition. That's ridiculous. When I could go buy an International Harvester for less than 10, and I'm talking way less. Sometimes you can get them for like $5,000. It just depends on their condition. Now, yes, there have been some that are, $20,000 to $30,000, but that's probably because they've been restored. They're more or less a show tractor. They're not really meant to be back out in the field anymore. They're just meant for show. I'm looking for a tractor that I can actually work. And I can't do that. I can't buy a John Deere tractor even from the 70s because they're just so expensive. So therefore, I really can't show my pride in owning a John Deere equipment. Yeah, I have my John Deere lawnmower. I have my John Deere dump cart thing, But if you're a hardcore John Deere fan, you'd own John Deere tractors too. It's like, well, I can't afford John Deere tractors. They're just too expensive. So until John Deere comes down on price, by a lot, there's not really much I can do about it. So it's an unfortunate thing. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think John Deere's going to make a big mistake if he decides to do it. And I don't even think he's even listening to his customers. I don't think he cares, which is truly sad. Because if I was in his shoes, I think I'd be proud. One, to be a proud American. Two, to own a company that's built in America, and that people, they're huge fans of it. They love my stuff, right? But this guy, I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares one damn bit. All he cares about is all that fucking green paper that he's got stashed in his bank account. He wants to make sure that John Deere is making more. But he thinks, well, the only way I can put more money in my pocket is if I pay less people, firing people, and then moving my business to Mexico, just so I can hire a bunch of fucking Mexicans for $10 to $15 an hour, probably even less than that, and build a shit product, ship it over to America, and then charge $5 million for it, and like it's stupid. I don't think he cares. And I would hate, and I don't know, personally I think this would kind of wreck America, but if John Deere went out of business, it would just be stupid. It would be like, wow. Because you already saw it with, International Harvester, and then I think there's like one or two other ones that they kind of went out of business too, but I think they got bought out by somebody else. But you got to think about it though too. John Deere is 200-something years old now, because they've been out for a very long time. And you got this cocksucker running it now, and he wants to go fucking run to Mexico with it. Nobody's going to buy your product. you know. And that's another thing too, is I can't, like, obviously, let's say if I'm done with John Deere, you know, because John Deere moves to Mexico and I don't want to support him anymore. Like, well, I really can't just turn around and go buy another, you know, lawnmower from somebody else. Like, I don't have the money. I'm stuck with this tractor. So, with this mower, you know, like, it isn't, some people don't have a choice, you know. So, I bought a John Deere lawnmower because it was, again, you know, it was supposed to be a super reliable piece of equipment, and it is. But when you have a company that says, F you, I'm going to go move to Mexico, it makes you kind of wonder, you know, like, then you don't care about your customers at all. You don't care about nothing. All you care about is that fucking money that you're going to make, that's going to go into your bank account. You're not going to make any money in Mexico, because what if nobody wants to buy your products here? I mean, yeah, John Deere's kind of sold all over the world, but America's like the number one country in the world to buy John Deere stuff. So, I guess Mexico better have tons of money than to buy your stuff, because that's the only people that are probably going to be buying it. You know. And then he's going to realize, you know, like, oh shit, I'm making even less money now than I was if I just would have stayed in America in the first place. You know? He's not thinking ahead. He's not thinking of what could happen if he does what he does. Or, you know, does what he's thinking, you know. So, I don't know. But yeah, I would, you know, it's just, I guess it's going to be whatever, but we'll see what the future holds. But unfortunately, you know, I hate to say it too, but if that's what John Deere is going to do, I don't think I'm going to own any John Deere products, you know. And I was thinking of getting in the next few years, I wanted to get a John Deere, like, well, right now it's a John Deere 1025R, but whatever it'll be in the next few years, I don't know, because they seem to change their model numbers around. But I wanted to buy another John Deere product. Well, if you're not going to be here in America anymore, I don't think I really want to support your business then, you know. I don't want to own John Deere products. And that's what's so stupid, is that around here where I live, there's 2 John Deere dealers, and everybody around here, you know, runs John Deere. There are a few people that run Case IH, but there's also a Case IH dealer, not too far from here either. It's in, you know, it's right next to the other John Deere dealer where I do my business. So, but I don't know. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, you know, I don't even know if John Deere, or I mean, if Case IH even makes small compact, like subcompact tractors. I don't even know. I haven't been keeping up to date with that. So, because I wanted to get a John Deere. It's like, well, if you're going to move to Mexico, I guess I'll just, you know, F off. And what's so stupid is that I have a good relationship with my John Deere dealer. You know, people there, they're super friendly. They know me by my name, and you know, they're always happy to see me, and yada yada yada. Like, we have a good, you know, connection. So my Case Edge dealer, not so much, because I don't really do a lot of business with them, because, you know, if I buy stuff for my tractor, it's usually going to be online, because sometimes I can just order used parts and they're cheaper. So, but I have gone to my Case IH dealer, but I don't go as much as my John Deere dealer, because I always, when I buy, like when I change the oil in my John Deere, the engine oil, and sometimes the hydraulic oil, I buy just strictly John Deere oil. I don't buy that aftermarket shit. I buy what is the best for my tractor. It's a little bit more expensive, but at the end of the day, I feel like that's what's making my stuff last longer, is because I'm buying the best of the best. You know, and I'm buying John Deere oil filters and parts and yada yada yada. And I've been doing that since I bought that John Deere mower. And, you know, like, I would feel bad, you know, not, I guess there's nothing I can do about it, but it would suck to not have that connection with them anymore, because I'm not seeing them anymore. I'm not talking to them. I'm not doing business with them, and then they go out of business because there's going to be tons of customers. They ain't going to miss one, but, they're going to lose a little bit of money, and then they're going to have to sell out eventually, shut their doors. And then it's going to hurt all them because now there's only, a fucking Case IH dealer here. So, I don't know. What do you do, If this is the route that John Deere wants to go, it's like, well, then you're going to lose a lot of customers, and I'm probably going to end up being one of them too at some point, because Case IH isn't even talking about this, no company is, because it's not top concern to them. Their job is to build equipment and get it out and make the customer happy, build something reliable. That's what John Deere was about too, but John Deere wants to suck the gays, wants to suck them off, and wants to move to Mexico. So he wants to have a bunch of Mexicans sucking his wiener. So, you tell me, but unfortunately that's what's going to happen. I think eventually, John Deere's just going to be history. And that would be honestly, I think that would be kind of sad, because John Deere has been around for, like 200 years. It's the longest lasting company. They're the only ones that have been out since the very beginning, and they're still here to this day, kicking ass, Well, they're getting their ass kicked now because now they're doing this. But, at the time, before all this came up and the fucking right to repair shit, they were reliable. They were there for you. So, but now they want to leave you. So, all I can say is good luck in Mexico. But, I guess I won't be part of. If you move to Mexico, I won't be buying any more of your products. So it's just the way it's going to be. I know that New Holland makes subcompact tractors, but again with Kubota, they make subcompact tractors. The only thing I don't like about Kubota is that their joystick for the loader is up way higher and more forward than John Deere. John Deere actually has their, laid out very good. So that's why I like those 1025Rs, because everything's within reach. It's all at a comfortable angle and height and everything. Like it's perfect. I don't know about Massey Ferguson. I know they make subcompact tractors, but I think their joysticks, I think theirs are on the loader. I think it's the same with Kubota. They're on the loader. So you have to reach way over to even do anything with it. That's stupid. I think I'd be better off just fucking deleting that and just putting my own valve in and, just build it my way. But I shouldn't have to. And John Deere had it figured out, So I don't have to. I wouldn't have to modify John Deere stuff. I could just hook it up and fucking go and use it. Everybody else would have to probably modify it because it's stupid. So, but I don't know. The only companies I know of that make subcompact tractors besides John Deere is, I think Massey Ferguson does. Kubota does, but I'm not really a big fan of Kubotas. And I think New Holland still does. There might be one other company too, but I can't remember their name. But But yeah, it's just, it is what it is. I'd hate to see John Deere go down the toilet just because of what they want to do. But you can't stop them. They're going to do what they want to do, and then they're going to lose. They're going to lose a lot of customers. But that's on John Deere, I guess. That's how they want to play the game. But then also, John, the CEO, if you're moving your company to Mexico, you need the golden too, because you're not a true American. You are a fucking Mexican. Get the hell out of my country. Go with your fucking company, you know. So, because we're not going to have you here. Everybody that's hardcore John Deere fans, they're gonna flip the switch and go to something else. Case IH, Massey Ferguson, Kubota, you know, there's still quite a few other tractor companies out here, but you know, we're all John Deere fans. So, but John Deere just doesn't see that they have something good going on here. You know, like they got a record to hang on to, and they're going to let it go just because of money. All because of money. So, what do you do? I guess we just move on. But we'll see. I don't, you know, John Deere might change their mind too. They might just say, fuck it, you know. But then you got to try to find all those people that you fired and try to, you know, beg them to come back because you know that you're going to need them. You're going to be sucking a lot of dicks just to do that. So, if you know what I mean. But, that's what John Deere wants to do. So, I guess let him have at it. But, I won't be sticking around. So, I'll just switch over to somebody else, you know. So, I don't know, but I guess, guys, I'm going to take off. It's a long enough video for me, and I want to go do some other stuff, so. But I guess you guys tell me what you would do if you were, like, you know, what you think about John Deere and whatever else. Personally, I'm disappointed because it's, you know, not something that I've seen coming. You know, John Deere should. John Deere knows better than this. You know, that's the problem. They know. But Johnny there, he just cares about that moolah. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about his fucking customers. I got a feeling that when a new tractor is designed, you know, when they make the blueprints and stuff, I don't think he's there. I think it's just all his people under him. And he just says, well, just do whatever, but make me money. You'd think as a CEO, you'd want to be there for every tractor that was being built, you know, or every design of a tractor being designed. You think you'd want to be there and be like, oh, I like that. No, I don't like that. I don't think my customers would like that. You know, and if you're not sure, then take it to your customers and let them make the decision for you. Either they're going to like it or they're going to hate it. If they hate it, well, then you have to change it. You know. But, I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. So, John Deere wants to be that way, well then, I guess just let him. We'll move on to something else then. Totally different brand, I guess, but what do you do? So, but anyway, guys, I guess I'm going to take off, so I guess I have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.